Okay, so Tomb of the Spider Queen, Liquid was the first pick on this map. The ban were Medivh from Liquid side and Team Experts banned Stitches. Stitches is really good on this map, and or at least like believed to be strong. But the reasoning for me why he's that good on this map is that usually both of the teams are having something that just focuses on the map to have like decent laning. Not necessarily the teams have something that can engage nicely, and it might cause problems later in the game when you just can't engage because you have like no HGC, no gap closer, or like no burst damage, so like opponents always will be able to run away. And adding stitches, if you have composition like this, is really good because you can always like hook someone in and get a kill mid-fight or at the start of the fight. Because like the fights might start, but no one will die, both team will just run away. But Stitches then can pick off someone that's just running away with no HP. Plus, he has a pretty good presence as a tank in front, deals a lot of damage the later the games go, and this map usually goes late. Has some wave clear, so overall he's really decent. And again, like the meta with like hard CC burst on this map is not longer a thing, although it should be against Stitches. But like back then, teams used to play like ETC on this map, even with Tyrande and plus the Tychuses and something like that, and it will still kill the Stitches. But since, as I said, usually there's no CC, no damage like that, the Stitches is usually free to just do whatever he wants on this map. So that is a good ban, I guess. I like to ban like Aurel on this map, or like a support, so deny the double support, but it is fine like that. They banned Medivh just because it's Team Expert, right? So Liquid continued with Tassadar pick. Obviously, wave clear, double support, like strong hero, nothing to talk about here really. Team Expert wasn't interested in like denying Vala or something. They just wanted the Uther and they get Sonya. Which is good, I guess, because like that you're probably gonna play against double support with like Aurel. Like they could pick maybe Malf, but Malf is not really meta at the moment, right? So picking Sonya, I guess, is fine because Tassadar has no CC. Aurel is like half-guard CC, so they might have problems dealing with the Sonya's spin. Plus Uther is also like good combo with Sonya. If she gets stunned or something, she gets like hardened shield. So those are fine first picks, I guess. Liquid instantly goes into Aurel Vala, I would imagine. Which like further increases the 4-man rotating power, right? Tassadar, Aurel, Vala, that's a lot of wave clear, but we all know how Vala, Tassadar how annoying it can be, right, to deal with it. The second bans for Liquid is Genji, which I don't agree with. Like, you have Tassadar. I don't think you have to ban Genji if you have Tassadar. They could ban something else, but like even the Greyman, I don't know if they was expecting like Liming. Like Anub is pretty obvious to expect, I guess, but actually not necessarily too, because like you have Tassadar still against Anub and like Vala is AA, so like I guess it's fine. So they don't have to ban it. They weren't thinking about anything like sneaky or special, so no special ban on this side, huh? As I said, I wouldn't ban Genji here because like you have the Tassadar which holds the Genji really well. But then on the other hand, if they are thinking about picking Leoric and then they are not sure what will be the last tank for them, I guess Genji is fine because still, they have 3 squishes on the back lane, so like the Genji still could do something with the sword. It's really only 13 when he gets the shrink ray to reduce the damage of sword at Genji, and like all game long he just denies the dodge attack, so Vala can do something. But I mean, I guess it's fine. I don't see like another bond that could be done, you know, it could be maybe like, you know, Malfurion or something, so they don't go double support if they were scared of that, but I guess it's fine. Team Expert bans Diablo, which is awkward. They got Greyman, but they ban both high HP heroes, you know. Is this maybe they just knew that they are going for Liming, so they banned all spell tanks, you know, and they get Anup, like that's also a thing. I mean, maybe they wanted to be more free with how Greyman wants to use the bullet, not only on Diablo. And plus, you know, obviously, like Diablo has some CC to stop the Sonya from revealing, so makes sense, I guess. Plus, as I said, like the mage will not have to deal with like spell damage reduction tank, so I guess it's good. Team Expert gets the Greyman and Anup, as I said, and Liquid finish with Leoric and Muradin. It's not really a meta for Muradin nowadays, but you know, still supposed to be good against Sonya, I guess, because CC and I mean the Stormbolt and Skullcracker, right? On bottom they will have Sonya against Leroy matchup, Leoric matchup. Oh. Like, Expert has really high damage on one target if they want, you know, especially on like Leoric. Greyman alone is really good against Leoric, and usually you don't want Leoric against Greyman unless you have the Tassadar. At least it was like back then when the Tassadar shield was like 5 seconds, you know. Now it's slightly harder, but still, you know, still could be technically fine. But I'm not sure. Nurok is on Leoric. I don't remember him playing that. I know like he plays other tanks or like Bruisers, but I don't remember him playing Leoric really. Can I check like this? I guess I can't. Oh, heroes. Yeah, it was like his first Leoric game. So he might end up feeding. Just saying. We'll see. I wasn't watching the games, but he might end up feeding against that, you know? Okay, so let's move into the game. Like, Expert finished with Liming, but we talk about it. Why? I mean, she's good against the Tassadar Auriel, but also they banned like the spell damage reduction tanks, so makes sense. Okay. It has to be their coach Zeus, right? To beat it. It was Zeus all the time along. I was just fake, you know. So Liquid is on the left side and Expert is on the right side. We are on the middle side, debated. Obviously, I don't want to do like casting or anything. Just want to analyze the game. So I will speed up. Oh no! Oh, don't tell me that. Oh no, the hotkeys are not working. Fine. We have to do it manually, not like this. Increase pad, numpad plus, nice, but I have no numpad. Okay, so no team is making anything sneaky, they both move to mid. Which is obviously, I mean, should be won by Team Liquid, right? They have a better wave here for the first minion clash, but Expert has a lot of CC, so if someone oversteps, they could technically get a kill. But since Anup is at the front, it is unlikely that they will get a sneaky kill. You know, if Anup was like from a flank or something, maybe that Aurel could get punished or something, but. I, 'cause, I mean, 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 'cause Okay, so they're kind of already thinking about splitting, I guess, or maybe looking for that flank. Okay, so like Anubis now in the like flank position, I guess. If someone missteps, they could look for a pick off because they can't really win the minion clash on mid, I would say. So they're kind of splitting already. If they manage to keep them here, maybe Gaiman pushes it fast enough, which is what I like to do usually, you know, because if you know your opponents will clear mid lane first, or that you know that they have superior form and rotation, right? So you might want to deny them to top lane. I mean, you're probably not gonna deny the experience, but what you do is you make one lane less for them to push, you know? Because like if they push this in 1 second, they rotate top, push this, you're gonna lose structures, maybe experience, and structure ammunition, I mean, on both lanes, right? So you can use the time that you know they're on mid to somehow like push the top already so they don't get the snowballing effect, right? You interfere with their rotation. That's usually what you should do if you're not sure about the mid clash. And this is what all players should do like in Hero League 2, you know? Just like realize, can we fucking fight 5 versus 5 on mid? Or we can't, you know? Do opponents have like better rotation? Yes, then just split. But even though it happens in games that people see, oh okay, we actually can fight, but the 3-man that are left on mid, they don't realize that they're 3-man against 5 and they sometimes still die, you know? But you should probably, if you split or if you see that your team shouldn't be able to win the 5-man clash, just tell them, guys, like we can't win that, just let them push their minions and we gather experience. If we get lucky, we split it, we might get them lose some minions if we push fast on the sides. Well, the stream is on, right? There's no problem with that, right? We're talking weird. Yeah, they weren't able to get any sneaky flank, but like again, you know, they split it already, so they weren't really looking for that. Sonia's Leoric matchup, as we said, on bottom. Oh yeah, so like this is what the Greyman did, right? Like he pushed the top lane, so even though Liquid has better rotation technically, or at least the first minion clash, they couldn't get much, you know? And he's gonna do it again. I really like doing this. And eventually this should start to tilt Liquid, because if you have a better rotation, or if you have a composition, I not say that this is the case here, you know, but sometimes you have really, you build a comp that requires you to actually get some damage onto the structures because you have to win in the early game, right? And if you're stuck in a situation like this, you should start thinking, this is not good, like our composition is supposed to do something early. So you have to look for ways to change it, right? To start getting like structure damage, because that's what you're supposed to do early with that comp if you don't want to lose, you know? So, like, there are a few ways. You can just stay on one lane. You can just go bottom, do 1-1-3, right? But you need to eventually start getting structure damage. If you fail, I mean, if opponents are defending the rotation well, like Expert is doing now, then you just need to stay on one lane and at least get turrets on one lane, you know? But we'll see what Liquid does with it. Obviously, like, it might be fine for them if both teams believes that the comps are equal, you know? They don't have to do anything, like, aggressive or anything, right? They can just, like, play and see what happens, right? And that's kind of the case here. Okay. This is, by the way, like, I don't know, every Tassadar game analysis I'm doing, I see Cyan Infusion, you know? I don't see a reason for it this game. I just don't. I mean, I could see it. I think it was the Infernal game against what opponents had, but I think it was Zealot game that, like, I think it was Zealots that picked it. mean, yes, it helps depushing, but you know, you could also just not let them get the pain ever. And you don't need the pushing, you know, car smile. So nothing really is happening here. Always on this map, whenever you push the lane, you should look into getting your gems paid in. If you don't need to do anything else, just always pay, like 2 coins, whatever, just pay them. It will be eventually easier later for your team to finish the pain, and the people that don't have could zone. So I guess that's what was happening, yeah. So I guess they decide that Leoric is losing the lane to Sonya on bottom and they want to change it, and then Tassadar with Storm will lane against Sonya. Interesting. No AA build from Darkmok. Disappointed. Disappointed. Okay. Oh, that's bad. Like Leoric won't be able to do much. Getting poked like that. Sonya gets a free pay in. I guess Gerson overstepped here when rest of the team expert tried to just annoy the Leoric. That's kind of good for Liquid, I guess, but like Sonya still got her pain through. They only need 11 more, and they're looking for pain on top, I guess. Do they? No, they can't. They can't. So they just want to push that. You know, killing Sonya is not easy on lane. You need a lot of damage, you know. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, so he wanted to get the last 3 coins and then get the pain, but... So even though Sonya got really nice pain, just because the Uther died, they probably just couldn't get the first one in. So that's really good for Liquid to get the first pain, and they should have get the first pain anyway, just because of the composition. Like Vala Tassadar early game, you know. Granted, Expert has what it takes to kill the Vala or Tassadar with this composition. They have a lot of burst damage and CC, so... But they weren't quite able to do that. I'm not sure if I like this. Like 2 tanks bottom, 3-man mid, but I guess it's fine. And I lose some top experience, but yeah. They're getting two row of walls, like mid wall and bottom wall. Expert can't really get a flank. Oh, unlucky. Oh, that would be really annoying if the Greyman would get that pain. That would be really bad by Liquid if they let that happen, you know. But obviously, they knew Greyman was up and they had to pay attention to it. Okay. So if it goes well, Liquid will be able... Muradin Jago Kappa. Liquid will be able to secure level 10 and get another pain. Okay, that's nice for them too. What they have to keep in mind is that the most coins, or the only dude that can solo pay on expert side is Greyman and Anub actually. Okay, so they have 2 heroes. Vala would like to go more aggressive, but I guess she can't because of the hard camp, you know. Yeah. I even wanted to say that this might end up in Vala being dead just because of the minion presence. And that's why, like, when the lane manipulation comes in, you know, you can, I mean, it's not really lane manipulation, right? But like, you need to keep in mind, like, if it's a good spot for you to fight. Are there a lot of enemy minion waves? I was talking about it the last time I was analyzing a match. It was Zealot versus Liquid, right? The top fight. There was minions too that actually just killed Tassadar, right? Like, this is something that will make some part of your team be unsure what to do. You know, you will want to do damage, but eventually the minions might start to like aggro on you and deal damage to you too. But the rest of your team might be thinking like, no, like we have to depush it, and they will just not help you or not look at you. You know, that's kind of what could happen here. They could maybe all commit, because I'm not surprised that Darkmonk wanted to deal damage there, because they get some nice initial pressure and they could technically push more, but rest of the team wasn't on the same page really, you know. Which is like fine, because all they have to do is just make sure that Expert doesn't pay. They don't have to try to kill them. They could just send one to just like poke, you know. Muradin just gives the vision, and like Tassadar can interrupt, you know, Vala can interrupt. Like, even Muradin can just walk in probably. I mean, maybe not working, depends how the rest of the expert is positioned, but yeah. You don't want to ever fight. If you go, like if you invade the hard camp and opponents capture it, you don't fight for it. You don't want to fight 5 opponents and hard camp, you know, because it eats CC and skill shots and deals a lot of damage. You don't really want to take fights in minion waves either, or like when you know the minion wave will aggro on you, because like it's, I don't know, like, you know, fight here and the minions will come eventually. I mean, it all depends on the situation, right? But you usually want to avoid fighting in minions. Yet in Hero League it happens that people just take fights in hard camp and easy camp and 2 minion waves, you know, and like what are you supposed to do? Like you try to ping them, just guys, let's not fight there, like we don't even have to, you know, but they will anyway. And you either go with them and it's probably disaster, or maybe, you know, luckily it will work out, but it is annoying that sometimes you can make people go back from a fight that is not necessary to take, you know, and also it has a bad start because of the minions, you know, but whatever. So obviously, like, I mean, experts should get the pain here. They still have to deal with the hard camp. Greyman instantly rotated to bottom, they will get the pain. Nothing they can really do. So this is technically bad, because, you know, having Tassadar and Vala, you should be able to somehow deny opponents from pain, and it could be level 10 to no 10 second pain for Liquid, but they fucked up, unluckily. They didn't get their heart, which they wanted, but it was Muradin doing it, so like Muradin's not gonna get it. I actually want to go back maybe and see why they didn't get the hard camp, because that's what eventually like make them fall here, I guess. I mean, it was also a mistake, but still, you know, like usually you want to get that hard camp after the first pain. But yeah, I forgot it's a replay and it doesn't work too well, but it will. Well, you can pay now. I didn't go back in time for enough. Do I go in back again? Well, so I would assume so that like Liquid just slacked, you know. There was just no clear call, which is really bad then. If they just like decided to stay. This is really easy, like it should be called or something. Like, maybe I should go back in time again, but like as I said, there was nothing here. They took it before, then they rotated bottom, you know. There's no reason to not go hard camp. That's what might have cost them the game, like just because they slacked in that one moment, like they just weren't doing anything. Like there was a Muradin starting a hard camp that had to be like huge lack of calling in that situation. Like they get something, they are snowballing, and then they are not making sure that they snowball more, which is pretty bad here. So now we know what is going to happen, right? They get the hard camp. The bottom lane is still same, you know, Sona, Leoric. But this is where the annoying part starts, right? They are gonna get pushed on mid. Like, you know, he just can't walk here and try to use multi-shot or something, because obviously Anub is in front of him, plus the hardcam will just aggro, so. And the hardcam also gives vision, you know. There's a lot of like plus sides to having minions, you know, during a fight. Not only the damage part, but like vision. But this is something when I could understand Darkmook looking for like more damage, but then I think the rest of the team just was thinking about the pushing, right? I mean, you can call unlucky, I guess, right? But like still, you know, we're talking about it. It's the lack of the hardcam on Liquid side that created that situation that the team wasn't on one page while trying to pressure them off. Like, I really think they could actually group, since they had experience lead, plus, you know, they took opponent's wall, so they shouldn't care about the damage here. They could maybe walk in from this side, you know, pressure them off, get here and deep push from this side, but I guess that's what like Darkmook would like to ideally happen, but it didn't. Then again, like Muradin was already on half HP, right? So like he could die in next combo, because he's not gonna get the shield. Both of the tanks are actually kind of awkward for Team Liquid, right? Because like Expert has so much burst and CC that they can threat a kill on both of the of Liquid tanks, right? Sonya alone is just killing, you know. And Liquid team composition doesn't have any like instant pressure, you know. It's not this. It's not like the fight starts and suddenly there's like tons of pressure from Liquid side. They have Vala Tasada with Tasada having only with Tasada having no damage because he has Side Infusion, right? And Archon later on maybe, but you know, you can cock on it, you can disengage it maybe. So yeah, like from Liquid side it's only like multi-shot and some Vala's auto attacks if Vala gets to auto attack, right? On Expert sides it's like chain CC plus burst damage. So if Muradin goes for a tank, what's the pressure created by Liquid, right? It's like Muradin stun, Tassadar Storm, 2 auto attacks from Vala, you know? That's not going to be even like 15% of Anubarak's HP. On the other side, Liquid is able to, Expert is able to put way more damage instantly. Look, like this was the combo on Greyman from like 3 heroes. It barely took like 15% of HP, you know? While like Muradin was forced to use Avatar even, you know. Yeah. Almost it. And this is where why I say Limik is really good against this kind of composition, you know. The pre-poke that can't be healed off easily, you know. This situation is really bad for Liquid. I mean, granted Expert is damage, but usually if you have someone poked to like really low, then you have Aurel that's also poked and have no energy. And then you have a Vala that can't really like deal that much damage easily to opponents because she could get CC'd. Or just engage on because opponents know that Aurel has no resources. It might get tricky. I think it was one NA game like this when I think it was Tempo Storm that pressured that situation really nicely. They were behind, but opponents were pushing with Aurel, but eventually the poke created a situation in which Aurel was half HP, no energy, and they just engaged on that. Okay, so Liquid managed to get another pain. Not in ideal way, because like they supposed, or they could have a situation in which they paid twice in a row with 10 to no 10, sadly. They griefed and the Expert pain was way stronger, you know. They get a 4th and damage 2 other. So they are an experienced leader right now. And they're most likely going to get 13 before. So it will be really awkward for Liquid to push. So that pain will not do much. This pain will actually probably do nothing, you know. Maybe some damage on bottom. Do not know if Liquid can even engage like that. Like this makes no sense either. Anyway, like they could maybe turn on this, but obviously you don't want to get debated into turning on opponents like this, because you want to deep push it. You don't want to, like, this situation for expert, why you shouldn't fight here, right, is that you are going to get value, right, or like deny value from opponents. Your whole goal here is to not fight them and deep push, so they don't get value in a situation they shouldn't get, you know, they shouldn't get it. So you don't want to get debated onto Muradin. You don't want to randomly, oh, let's have fun, let's deal damage, you know, the opponents, because you're gonna lose a fourth mid and on fourth bottom, you know. And that's what like Liquid will try to safely do, deny them from rotating easily maybe, but that should be probably that Nurok, you know. There, please. Kursen. Okay, I think that they could, but there again, you know, I just said you don't want to, right? I mean, I think that was a free kill, but whatever, you know. But still, your goal is to make sure that you deny as much structure damage as possible. Okay. They might actually lose 1/3. Why do I hear some random sounds? Maybe it's the OBS for Xola or something, huh? Okay, 1/4, that's even possibly 2/4 actually. So that's really good for Liquid, I would say. If they manage to get this one, even if they don't, it's still fine, you know. But obviously you want to take all 4s, because like if you fail to get, like, if you get this down, like, look how much space you have here, you know, to do whatever you need to do in order to get back or win a game, right? If there's an opponent fourth, then like your space is like limited to what you can do, like doubled, you know, you have like twice less space, if not more even, because you have to count in like the turret's range, right? So whenever you can get a fourth, you want to get it on this map. Like, same for Dragon, you know, like it just opens them up, it just makes creating like plays easier on lanes that you took the fourth from. So the game is still now equal. Oh, they could look for an engage from this. As I said, there's no fourth here. Leoric has no E. They have off ultimates. I don't know if this is alt Kokon or the nerfed one. I don't remember. I think this is the nerfed one. Probably not, right? It's probably the OP one, right? Okay, they didn't manage to take the mid, but you know, this is as good as that. Okay, so Expert didn't want to commit on the Leoric, which is fine, you know, that could be a debate. Their idea to fight could very well be like, let Liquid engage and then try to kill someone, because it is unlikely that if Liquid engages they get a kill on anyone, you know, so they could just counter. Okay, so Expert has enough to pay. Liquid will get a free pay now, which is like not ideal, but well, I mean, it is fine. Like, they're gonna get the mid camp, which will create pressure. Maybe they can use that. Oh, okay, I don't got CC'd, but that doesn't matter. Like, look how much CC they're throwing on someone, but they can't do anything with it, you know. On the other hand, as I was talking about, Expert, if they CC someone, they can put tons of damage. Like, look at the Vala counter pressure, you know, that's nothing. You know, she throw a fucking Q, oops, and one auto attack, that's nothing. And that's zero counter pressure at all, you know. This composition has. Oh shit, if that hit, that is really annoying that it didn't. Damon completed his quest instead. Like this is just way different story between like what the expert team can do with their comps and what Liquid comps can do. That's why I was talking early. I mean, in the early game about like how important it is to snowball with the superior foreman to look for getting a ammunition off enemy structures, or ideally structures like the walls, right? But Liquid weren't able to do it. Like expert managed to like manipulate the rotation well, that Liquid weren't able to get anything, but they could look maybe into like 1-1-3 or something, you know. This is a strat that you could use, but then again, like that could create problems because it is likely that Vala, Tassadar, or Auriel that would be on that. Actually, no, it would be Muradin, Auriel, Vala, right? Muradin stays in Bash, Auriel, Vala pushes. Muradin spots the rotation, Tassadar pushes mid, Leoric pushes top. They have to have like a Grey Man. So it's not said that they will actually die on bottom. They could do that 1-1-3, or just like make sure that they get like, or send someone against Greyman so he doesn't depush the top early. But this is talking about early game, like how they could get more. It doesn't matter really, maybe, because Liquid still got the first pain and then they fucked up. They should have a second pain, you know, but they failed and Expert got it. So now it's equal situation with like Expert still being ahead in experience, and they again have the camp. I should have checked. Okay. So Expert got the camp because like Liquid was pushing mid, and then they went to pain. I wonder if they could create pressure here, you know. Because straight up 5v5 is really hard for Liquid to play properly. Because as I said, they have no instant pressure, you know. They have only Vala to deal damage, you know. That's it. They're not gonna create any kind of damage from like their tanks, CCs. Like look what happens to Muradin, you know. Like he can do anything. He wants to be in front, but his backline won't be able to provide any kind of pressure on opponents. While for trying to do something like that, he might just get destroyed. Okay. Can Darkmore carry? Nope. Bottom's pushing. This is shaping to be, I mean, it is going to be 16 to no 16 for Expert. So this is a really annoying situation. As I said, usually teams are not playing compositions that are heavy on CC and best, which is like the Liquid. That is the example of it here, right? It's just how the meta is on this map, right? You play more passive, more map control oriented compositions, but you have to be snowballing with them. Liquid, I mean, Expert has that thing that is not used that much anymore, you know, heavy CC and burst damage. So like for Liquid, it is hard to get like a pick off or something. Yes, they have Entomb, but they don't have much follow-up damage. So since they are behind now, and ideally, you know, they could want to try to get the fight 14-15 before this happens, you know, 16 and a pain, right? But since it is very unlikely for them to get any like a kill or something, right, on Expert, unless Expert is monkeys and just like, I don't know. I don't even know who could die, you know. It had to be Uther just AFK and they didn't pause the game, you know. But yeah, in such situation, you will ideally like to look for a kill or opponents to deny 16 and spiders from happening. But with composition that has no like lockdown burst damage, it's really hard, right? You could argue that they have, you know, like entombed stun, but they just have no damage with that. And on the other hand, if Expert will be behind, they have Kokon and they have a lot of CC that they, like, as you see, like the Muradin is melting, right? So like Expert has a comp that could easier get back from being behind, you know. But then again, like if this comp is ahead, then you might have unhappy time dealing with Test Tracer. I mean, Test Vala, right? But yeah. So they could look into engage here. There might be a Kokon happening soon, you know. I really think Anup could even like maybe Kokon the Vala. Like, I really think they could do that. Granted, if your goal is to take the fort, you know, like you can just pressure them off. You don't have to always fight, because you can put goals for yourself, right? Or for the team. Okay, if they're really stupid, we can kill them. But our goal is to take a fort or something, which is obviously not the goal here, you know. Like something like this can be a goal early game, or like when you siege a keep. But not here. Like here you want to get the kills. So I think that there could be a Kokon on the Vala, but it's fine, I guess. I mean, worst case scenario, you just disengage, you know. So mid is not going to get anything. The hard camp depushed it. Top, you want to keep Liquid here as long as you can, so the top pushes and get some kind of value. They can really get more than... I want to see something. Okay, he completed that quest. You can really get more than a wall here, I guess. I mean, if this is also hard, because like it's still not 16, not 16 for Liquid, but I guess Anup still needs to be careful to not just E on the Leoric, even though it could possibly be a kill, you know. They just want to, what I said pretty much, like you don't need to try to kill them. Eventually one of them will have to split to deal with mid, deal with top. So even though like Leoric might be in position, or like Muradin might be in position, you can kill him. You don't have to pressure that, because like you're gonna get value somewhere else and you will make opponents split. Right. Oh nice, my hotkeys are working. Nice. With the location keybinds. Okay, so they managed to get bottom wall. They're getting... oh nice, they got all, like the wall on top, and probably gonna get the turret or something. So seems like they just want to push mid and get maybe a mid turret. Nope. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, that's as safe as you... that's as safely played as possible. But it gave them some value, right? They get bottom wall, which is maybe not the best wall in this game, but like still, you know, bottom is decently far from top lane and boss. So it can eventually create an annoying situation for blue team, or like for any team. Like, you know, if the minion waves are here, like it's really hard to rotate to top Perrin or top boss. Plus, if opponents get the easy, it gets even more annoying. Ideally, you know, you want the top lane to be open, and they kinda achieve that, right? Because it's a boss lane pretty much, right? Okay, so I guess this is going to be a trap situation, right? Because like they can just wait 7 seconds here and get the pain. I mean, they could do that too, I guess. But Liquid has to rotate towards top. And the trap shouldn't work. They have Tassadar, right? But still, you know. Liquid can get the pain too, huh? Ooh. If only Expert has slightly better vision, you know. So yeah, this is again the same situation, you know, the thing I was talking about. One of the Liquid tanks engages, but there's 0 damage that it can create. On the other hand, I mean, on the other side, you know, the tank that engages for Liquid just gets destroyed. That's the difference in like the way of dealing damage in those two comps. Both of the tanks get destroyed. Like, what can Muradin do? Like, he wants to jump in and like, you know, tank for them, but he can't. He's just melting, and the rest of his team can't deal damage. Like, can't deal meaningful damage. And this is getting worse and worse for Liquid. Obviously, they have to just try to get the pain now. But even if they get it, that pain will not get much value because lanes are pushed. And again, like because the lanes are pushed, it is going to be annoying for them because they are in experience deficit, right? They're getting denied from reaching the experience even. Because if someone goes there, then expert knows that it's 45 or something. Where was the Kokon used? I actually didn't realize. I was like, is he going to ever use the Kokon? Well, but Liquid actually managed to pay a lot, But then again, they only have to keep an eye on Val. Oh, that's huge. But this situation, it is easily understandable, They must be getting annoyed, Liquid, that they can't really do anything with their composition against opponents. So even though they might be talking, guys, we need to fight, we need to, they all know that it is, highly unlikely that they can get good, they can get a good fight. And then on top of that, they know they're losing experience on side lanes, which, creates, leads to, 20 to no 20. So what they should do probably is, because this is a situation where they don't know what to do. They're not sure if they can win a fight, so they're not in position that they can fight them, or hope for someone playing here and having 5-4 here, right? They're not sending anyone to soak either, which they could do. Because in the end they let opponents pay, but they were not soaking anything. They could aim for 20. I don't know, maybe it's Leoric's power spikes, Archon power spikes, and I don't know, whatever, So they could think that the pain is fine. They can let them have that, try to depush. But if you agree on that, just make sure that no one dies here, that you soak some experience, because this is now bad. Bottom will instantly push, top will instantly push, and mid eventually too, and you have no walls, so and then Aureal works in mid wave, what? Okay, they don't punish. I mean, it is fine too, because Liquid, I might get debated, maybe, I would maybe look for engage, but it is fine to not engage, because opponents are still on the mid lane, so bottom will just push for free, top will push for free, and you can still try to keep them here, Once they start moving, you want to start this is completely understandable. I would do the same. I don't want them to go side lanes. So I really wanted to jebait them onto him, There's no way he dies for it. But maybe he makes all of them And I don't know why Murad is the first one to move to bottom, Because this is still a moment in which Liquid could look for a fight, especially if, Clayman jumps like this, but it is safe for him to do that, but still, Maybe they could just hard engage on it or something, I don't know. So this is going to be, again, a really annoying situation. They can't really go behind and hope for a good team fight or anything, because Muradin's stance and just presence in expert teams is not doing anything. As I said, Liquid has nothing to pressure instantly, and they would just kill the Muradin flanking, So they should probably have Tassadar bottom already, maybe. Or Leoric is fine. I guess Leoric is fine, That's the only thing they can do. Just make sure that after mid push, bottom doesn't push too much, On the other hand, this whole team, everyone has to be careful, because they might just die from the CC and damage. Okay. Wait, did he just misclick the heal? Okay, nice. This is really nice for Liquid, This is what they, I guess, agreed on. We just let them pay, and let's try to not lose a keep, right? This is completely fine. Okay, they're trying to create the pressure. This is the same situation that happened on bottom, right? You want to be pressuring smartly. You don't want to overcommit if you don't feel like it's needed, if you can get value from something else, right? That's what that's. I mean, there was the Crystal Ages, so like he just like he wanted to combo the Craven, but still that what I was talking about here, right? Like it is really annoying situation for them, and that's maybe why they didn't want to get the fight here, and they wanted to wait for 20, which this is a mistake for Muradin. I mean, obviously ours slacked, right? But still, the idea with how they played here must been that they want to get to 20 and they don't want to lose keeps during web weavers, but this was just straight up engage. It could be fine if they played properly, but still Tasada wasn't yet there. Plus they achieved what I guess they wanted, which is not lose a keep, right? But you just need to keep in mind the mindset of like Liquid there. It's really annoying because they can deal damage to them at all. Blambi can deal can create anything for Liquid. Either. But this is bad because this is possibly just free boss. Like experts shouldn't lose a fucking time here trying to turn. I mean, they can. They have Kokon. You don't have Divine Shield. I don't know. I would like. You either turn on them, but you don't have the HP to do so, I think. Maybe you have, I don't know. I don't think you have. You want to disengage this as fast as possible and possibly go for a boss, while also keeping in mind that opponents don't pay. But since they eat so much damage now, I don't think they can even go for a boss like that. Oh shit, if that hits... then that hero is dead, that's not enough time now. Okay. I don't know why they didn't start the hard camp really. I think that was a mistake. He should just aggro it and after click the well, but whatever. So this is like last chance for Liquid. Possibly, maybe not necessarily, but it will be like last chance to deny 20 to no 20 possible like boss area fight, right? The moment you pay it, you always have to be careful because opponents will be out of vision, and if you show somewhere on the map, you might get punished for this. Like, because usually the team that pays is being uncareful and they're just depushing the waves to make sure that they get the web reverse, but then opponents can just punish you if you're split it, That happens on competitive level. But this pain doesn't give them much. I'm not sure if they should even bother depushing it. Like, it is really hard to like decide properly. If you know that you're unlikely to win team fights, then you get something that you need to get a lot of value out of, but you will not be able to because like top was pushed, bottom was pushed, and mid will just get depushed, But you should probably stay as 5 and hope for the best, This is not the best. Which is like, granted, like depushing it slowly is fine too, because eventually you will get some structural damage with it, but I'm not sure if pushing top is the best idea, because maybe bottom will be better because it takes a fort, but still, they can push that, move to mid, push mid a little bit, and then rotate to bottom, get bottom. That maybe gives them the most experience, right? But yeah, they will be scared to push mid even, right? But look, like they can't even, or they don't want, but I guess they just can't do the same thing that Expert was doing, Even though Expert lost the web reverse, they still stayed, so the other lanes can push, but Liquid can't really do that, because they're just gonna get engaged on, like this is a composition clash, I guess. But I mean, it's like, this is not that much of a like, nice value gain, right? Because this is just supposed to be that anyway. This is not the same situation, like top wall is not comparable to like bottom fort, So it's not like, oh yeah, they are here, so they're gonna get bottom fort. Yes, but it doesn't matter. And they didn't get the mid wall either, no damage either, so like they just push with it with something that will get depushed fast. Look at this damage, man. Oh shit. And bullet missed, I think. Oh. This should be engaged, is it? Okay. Like, but when he's really cautious with his ease, you know. What? I mean, I get it, but I don't. You know, like he wanted to make sure that the crystal doesn't go off. But the thing is, if he fails the timing, then he saves 2 targets, kinda. They're probably gonna be dead afterwards anyway, but still, you know, for some time. So that's game, right? Yeah. I mean, eventually the bottom get a keep, Yova, you know nothing to wait it. But yeah, that was how to sum up this game, right? Since they have a better rotation composition, you have to be looking to get value early game. You need to be taking, I mean, you need to be doing like structure damage if you have superior rotation. If you can achieve it through just 4-man rotation, then you just need to do 1-1-3 or something. You know, you need to start getting damage. You need to start snowballing as soon as you can. Not as soon as you can. You need to start snowballing, not that when you can. You just need to. If you have like weaker teamfight composition or like weaker equal level composition, you know, then there was a mistake with the like letting opponents get the second pain, because I think this is just a calling mistake, like maybe shot calling problems in few cases, especially after they get the first pain. That was insanely weakly played. That they let opponents get the hard cam without doing theirs. Like Murati doing a hard cam when rest is just like AFK mid. That was like a really huge mistake there. That possibly costed them the game. Looking by how the team fights go, how the composition clash, maybe that wouldn't matter anyway. But still, as long as you can snowball, you should snowball. You know, you should never slack if you can snowball. Quick replay. Should be nice one. Liquid was the first pick, so it was the expert choice of map. Team Liquid bans Greyman. It's a fine ban, you know. It's a fine ban, I guess. I mean, equal to the expert ones, but like expert got tilted, I guess, that they lost twice to Vikings, right? So they just wanted to deny this from happening. Liquid first picked Uther. Completely understandable, probably. Expert follows with Dihaka and Genji. That's a global plus, you know, good carry, I guess. By looking at the expert combo, I actually like the approach, but if you look by the score, it didn't work out. But we'll see why, because like expert just picks something that's supposed to win team fight and map, because they're not gonna win shrine fights against this composition, right? I mean, like the school fight, you know, like who gets more, you know, and like they just need to all in, I guess. Team Liquid picks Sonya and Anop after, and Liquid bans the Medivh again, so no cheese or something. I'm not sure if this would be a Medivh composition after Dihaka Genji pick, but like, I mean, it maybe still could have, instead of Falstad you get Medivh. It's probably the same amount of damage between Falstad and Medivh, so yeah, Medivh could be maybe better than Falstad, you know. So I guess it's fine ban, you know. Even if it makes even if it will make no sense, it's still fine, you know, just to deny the, like, this is just how experts ban Vikings, you know. Just better not to deal with if you're like not 100% sure, you know. So it's fine. Expert bans Abatur and then picks Falstad regular. So the Falstad might be just purely to deny split push from Liquid, but you know, it could still be Illidan. Granted, it would be like Illidan Sonya composition, but you know, that still could happen. It still could be like Zagara, but I guess you don't want to have Zagara against like faster Genji maybe. There's Brightwing that you could pick as, yeah, they could pick Brightwing, but as a second support to have the global, which Brightwing is good against later, you know, like ETC, it's fine against Genji, you know. Plus is a global, but it doesn't matter, you know, they want to rate it, but still, just saying, you know. Liquid finished with Vala Tassadar, so just like the first game, there was a lot of Vala, 3 times for them. 2 times it gave them victory debated. And Team Expert finishes with ETC. So even though I said, you know, I kind of like what the... I mean, I understand what Expert's approach is for this game, I guess, from how the draft went. It is probably unlikely to happen. I mean, we will see how it goes, you know, but like, as we saw in the last game, right? Liquid composition with like the, you know, Vala Auriel Tassadar had problems just dealing damage to Expert's comp, right? But what's the case here? If ETC skews, is someone going to die on Liquid side? Like you pick ETC into Uther, you know, plus Tassadar, so like nothing's gonna side on Liquid side, and nothing's gonna die on Liquid sides from ETC skewing. Probably nothing's gonna die in Moshpit either, you know, unless it's like, I don't know, godlike Moshpit, you know. But if ETC skews in, he's very likely dead, you know. Even after Ancestral hits, he still might be dead. Like Genji has only like one squishy target to deal like meaningful damage to during the sword, but after 13 he just gets denied by Tassadar. So composition clash is really annoying for Team Experts, but they have double global. But even then, you know, are they going to kill Sonya if she overextends with Genji first? You know, maybe this might be stage dive. I guess we will see, but it looks hard for Expert team composition to win like 5v5s against Liquid ones, but as I said, they have the global presence, so maybe they can like create snowballing situation out of that. Okay, so Expert again on the right side, Liquid on left side. Oh, so yet again, I guess Liquid has a better 5-man for the first minion clash, so they will look to push it. Expert can look again for like a flank stun CC into killing someone, but that's not gonna... They don't have enough damage to make that kill happen. They can look for a pick off on top, but that's probably not gonna happen either. Because that's not that much damage yet. So nothing really gonna happen here, and Liquid just gonna push the mid wave first and then just rotate somewhere. I mean, it's still important to Dark Mode to not like be uncareful or something and die, but that's not gonna happen for sure. I mean, he's not gonna just die there. He'll pay attention. I think at some point they could just stay mid and push mid. I think that would be better for them. They just sent like, I don't know, Uther bottom or Anu bottom even, and just push mid. Or I mean, you can do it on bottom too, I guess. Yeah. Urok, why not attack turret? I don't like it. I think they should just get this, you know. Okay, they will stay, you know. I guess it's fine to send Tassadar mid, but just push it, please. Eventually, don't know if they will be able to get on turrets even, because like Liquid, I mean, Expert realizes that there could be potential push from Liquid on bottom. They don't see TC, so they can push. I don't know, I think this turret could be dead before, but I mean, it is fine, right? Like Liquid has technically, we said, like better shrine composition, right? So they don't have to grid, but they will eventually fall behind in experience, I guess, if they don't soak properly, because you know Expert has double global, so like that additional experience from turret could be nice, you know. Oh, that's Ute. Okay, he can get punished. That's... That was awkward, but I guess maybe like nicely paid out by Expert. This is like what you do with double global, I guess, you know. If there's a potential for 4v5, just call it, get the globals, take it. And in worst case scenario, I mean, in worst case scenario you die, but shouldn't happen. If nothing happens, you just send Falstad top, you leave the Haka bottom, you know. Or in this case, you could leave Falstad bottom, because he still has a global, and just work with everyone to top. So this is like very good for Liquid, because Expert is not abusing the globals yet, and they're getting the shrine, you know. Oh, it might be that. Oh shit. That could be huge for Team Expert. That could be really huge if they get that leak. Because I would assume that Liquid still wins that shrine, right? Sucks to be Uten. Okay, he eventually found a Genji that just walks toward him. Okay, nice. So yeah, Expert is not really using the globals too well, but I mean they almost used them well, but they missed the leak. Because that could change a lot. Maybe they would just get the shrine, you know, and they could do what they need to do in this game, which is just they need to snowball through experience and split push. But if they don't split push enough or effectively, and they will die during that. During early game, then it will just be hard for them at the game, because they're not gonna win the shrine fights, or at least they shouldn't, looking by the compositions, you know. They're looking for pickups, which is like, you know, a good thing to do before you have to start pushing top. They need Falstad on top, I think, because it's range hero, you know, to deal damage, but doesn't seem like Falstad cares about that. Oh, okay. As I said, this is just a situation from like not last game, but last time I reviewed a game. It was like Zealot Expert, like Zealot's Liquid, and there was a 4-man, and one was clearly stronger. You know, I don't know if you can get the kill on Sonya, if it's even worth wasting time. You know. Okay, debated. I know nothing. Nice, I guess, but still, but they get 5 people to do that, so they get a kill. That's not worth. To get a kill, this is being pushed, you know, and Liquid is getting 2 waves. I guess Dihaka has a burrow. I thought it would be a waste of time, but Uta wasn't in position to stun anything. I would go back in time if this could be like play better by Liquid maybe to deny that kill, but it's still fine, you know. I mean, I actually didn't pay attention that like even Tassala was splitted. Okay, that kill doesn't do anything really. Expert will get the experience though, so Liquid still got what you usually want with first Punisher, which is you just get the wall, right? I mean, and I guess it was not level 7 yet, but it doesn't matter. They go for clans, huh? Oh. Clans? Why clans? Is the Hand of Protection, I mean, is the like Uther 7 that bad now after the nerf? I mean, it's fine, but it's not like Expert has that much burst follow-up afterwards, I guess. Oh, so that's a nice win for Expert to get that easy camp, I guess, but it just was... Sonya was dead. Tassara might be dead. Nope. Unlucky. Sonya should avoid top lane, debated. This is the worst thing, you know. Like, I hate when this happens, when I try to help someone and I die for trying to help him, or someone tries to help me and he dies for trying to help me, you know. So this is good for Expert now from... but this is just Liquid being maybe uncareful here, I guess, because like they were in a good situation, you know, 7-7, they got the top wall, and now they find themselves in like half a level deficit for some reason. They're gonna lose even more on bottom. Oh, okay, this has no ammo, so Sonya will get in time, but the thing is, they might not be able to contest this, because 10 to no 10, which shouldn't... I mean, it... Actually, you could expect that to happen, because Expert has double global, right? But still, you know. Like the pushing of Immortal on Liquid side is fine, right? I mean, it's Vara. Tassara doesn't have the damage talent, but still. They can somehow depush it, I guess. So it is a mosh pit, not stage, right? They're thinking about getting Falstaff kill, I guess. So basically, like, Expert achieved almost same amount of, like, you know, damage. Like, it's one turret, but those turrets are almost dead too, so like... This is really good for them. They get the Immortal too, and the Falstaff will keep on splitting, I guess. Plus they also depush the hard camp, so they will get some damage on top too, right? Dihak is like, get out of my lane. Okay. So this is a really good situation for Expert. They're like getting value on every lane. Yeah. That is a situation, that is like a map situation, level experience situation. Expert needs to win this game, you know. Like also like a structure damage situation. This is what they need to have, you know. Because that could, like, the more push they get, the more situation for getting pickoffs can, you know, appear. Okay, Tassara spotted the ATC. Like the side lanes have to be especially careful, you know. The Sonya, Tassara, whoever's on top. What Liquid wants to do is just not get picked off, not lose too much experience, wait for shrine phase, you know, and then win the shrine phase. What Expert wants to do is just like punish Liquid if they are being uncareful. So like every attempt at 5-man is fine for them, but so they want to trade lane experience for just pushing mid. Not sure about that, because like Expert could even like afford to fight the 5v5 even though they don't need, because if they lose, like Liquid is still losing meanwhile anyway, you know. It's not like, even if like 1 or 2 dies, I mean, obviously you don't want to die, right? You don't want to equalize the experience. And Liquid could maybe push mid a little bit, but more likely they will have to split. So like even if you fail here, it doesn't give you much. They don't have to do that as Expert, but by Liquid standing here, they give the opportunity for Expert to maybe get a fight or just try to, you know, keep Liquid on mid lane, so to make sure that they don't gather the experience. And this is going to create 13 to no 13 shrine fight, which is what Liquid want. They want shrine fight, but they don't want it being leveled down, you know. And then, if this happens, then you have a situation in which someone from Liquid will soak, and he can get punished by globals. Yeah, that's okay. That's really nice fast rotation. That's why like probably experts should do, you know, like decently well on the Western clash against the NA teams too, because this was instant, you know. Like Anup eat, okay, bottom spree. To deal damage to it. Anup rotating, instant back. Genji, you know, global hero generated already on mid lane. They don't have to fight for it, they can, because Tassadar still bottom. This is nice. I don't think Tassadar will be there in time, but there was a mistake against Zealot game when they went for a camp and they thought they will get it. So the one that was moving just moved back, you know, and then it eventually costed them that camp, even though they should get it. Like the opponents, you know, just got value out of it just because they weren't 100% cautious. Like now Tassadar moves, but that's probably too late to fight for this camp, which is really bad in a way that Tassadar still needs to move, but it is very likely that someone's gonna die here anyway, and if that happens, then he's wasting, you know, this wave and push potentially this wave, right? So like I don't even know if they should care about this camp. Like this is useless to even create a teamfight situation for this camp, because you need to get tiered in. You can't make situation like this that you can't soak to tiered in against globals, and when Shrine spawns and force a fight against globals that can instantly have 5v4, you know, that is just weirdly played here. I mean, nice Kokon to interrupt the mosh pit. Okay, nice. That's awkward. At the hero, please. I mean, they still can fight for it, I guess, maybe, but yeah, they shouldn't. You know. Yeah. So that's a minor victory for Liquid, I guess. They traded Mosh Pit, which is good. Ancestor still up, eventually still up. And it also keeps, like, eventually it worked out well, you know, the Tassadar moved, which I said that was good, because they, like, make him rotate, but I thought it might be too late. Last time something like that happened, that they were just not cautious about this. This time, they made sure that they will eventually have 5 people, but you know, what is really important, they buy themselves a time to reach 13 somehow, you know. They still don't have anyone mid, but I just want to make sure that they get the turrets for that experience, and then eat the mid experience and just rotate for top, I guess. Plus this will like make sure that the bottom like split pusher or whatever will not get to split push that soon, you know. Okay, it's just nice, I think. Trying to use the time Liquid's slacking with objective to take it. No, okay, he just wants to clear the wave. Okay, he started it. Oh, Kursen. Okay, he's gonna make it out. He's gonna get bottom. He's probably gonna look for recall after, if they want to fight. Okay, they're just trading 2 forts, I guess, for 1. Maybe some top keep damage too, wall damage. But yeah, like Liquid is creating keep situation, you know. They might get a keep with that push. Eventually someone will have to recall. Okay, Falset's recalling. Yeah, this is a potential keep for Liquid, you know. Yes, Expert is getting a lot, but this is a potential keep loss, which I'm not sure if that was a good decision for Expert. But as I said, like their team fights, like the 5v5s, are really like I would say hard to play out properly. I mean, I don't know if they can even play the team fights properly. Really, like the 5-man clash is just better for Team Liquid, so they have to look for this kind of play, but maybe they should put more effort on just pushing bottom. I don't think this is effective to push the mid, because this might be a keep, this might be a keep. They can defend it, and it is likely that they will, but like still, like they got a lot of damage, hard camp. They like Liquid doesn't, I mean Expert doesn't have much the pushing from front. They have more like of a dive comp. So if they want to pressure them off, kill the Immortal fast, they would have to like flank, but they can't really. Yeah. Like I think that maybe instead of pushing this, just push here and create the tons of pressure, because that they could maybe force them instead of pushing here. But I wonder what Liquid will do here, because like if you force them off recalling, then you don't waste this wall, and then they have to walk from here to top. They don't get the hard camp. So, it's like awkward situation, Yaka is still splitting. She has no HP too. That's super bad, Is he going to like use D, or like he will have to recall to get full HP and then Z, but that takes a lot of time. So this is a keep situation. So that's why I'm talking about like, don't care about the mid fort, just put all here. And if you get extremely lucky, maybe. But that could also end, like that could also be like game winning push if Liquid actually decides to not recall, I would have to maybe go back in time and see, but they wasted a lot of time here. I don't know if they were not aware that they will probably lose a keep with this push, and what they are doing is just getting a like freaking fort and barely getting damage on bottom wall, while opponents were creating a situation in which they will get a keep. So like, I think they should just 4-man here, push, and see what Liquid does. If they're fine with like, okay, we're probably gonna lose the keep, but we're not gonna lose the core, so let's just try to get their keeps, maybe trade keep, but they still need that keep. They can let Liquid just get it for free before the Immortal, because it could be a game threatening push. Okay. Okay, this is gonna back off. It's actually not sure if the Dihaka's recall was even like useful, But that's what like supposed to happen. Oh, that's really nice. But they should just back off to not let the bottom push too much. Oh, that's bad. I mean, he's dead. Well, that's not ideal. Like, that could be avoided with like maybe a pre-divine, because they got everything they want. It doesn't matter you use divine shield just to like run away, it's fine. Like, you don't want to fight, you just want to get this depushed, So that's pretty bad that they lost 2 heroes. Shouldn't happen. 1 hero, okay, unlucky, but like 3 heroes, disaster, But still, it's short cooldowns. Like what this gives to Expert is that they might be able. Do they want to greed? Okay, that's greedy as fuck, yeah. And now they see them, so now they can do it, but this is what Expert could be hitting. Just because they killed so many. I'm not sure if this was worth taking. I think I would just get all camps off So there's no way Liquid takes them and use the camps to have a map control, map pressure for them. Yeah, I'm not sure about it. Like, either just get this like, I don't like this. I would just get this hard camp or rotate here, hope that Liquid is monkeys, you know, if they do it, kill them. If they don't, take this, leave one here maybe, but safely. Move towards hard camp, create a potential 4v5 there, or just push the top after all of that. Since they were on top already, they could just get the hard camp off. Because now, like, I was thinking that Liquid maybe will not cap it. To time it. Yeah, they could, if pro teams were like keeping in mind the timers, which some teams do, you know, but not a lot of them, then they could time it better, you know. They would capture it like, you know, 10 seconds later. Not like it matters that much, you know. It doesn't seem like Liquid Expert can afford to depush it, you know. Anyway. Oh shit. Like, as I said, this should be experts, this should be experts, this should be experts, this should be experts, you know. What they get is just a fort, which they would take eventually anyway, maybe not because like the catapults, but still they have global, so it very well could, you know, fall eventually. But not having all of the camps when they kill 3 people, I don't like it. They get a lot, they shouldn't get that much, they should barely get 1 kill here and they got 3 kills, you know. But they then they didn't get anything out of that, so they didn't really come back. I mean, they're still experienced lead, but they're still supposed to lose team fights, and they just wasted Gast to take an easy camp on a lane when the objective spawn. Like, if you want to do anything, then it should be probably like one of the globals being top. So that's bad because it creates a situation in which, you know, bottom lane for Liquid is stronger. So like it gives vision, damages expert, you know, and they eventually have to deal with it. So it buys some time, you know. They can't even start this. Okay, that's really bad. They can't make a similar play as they did last time, which is like pushing something, because there's nothing to push, you know. That's why I say this could be pushed now, you know, but they would have all of the camps. They wouldn't have the hard camp pushing, they wouldn't have that fight, you know. Let's see what expert decides to do. They want 18, I guess, and fight at 18, if even. Maybe they just go full split push, but, you know. I mean, they could do that, you know, this only pushes bottom. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. That's... Like, the thing is, they can't really win 5v5, so they have to just agree on the pushing and just... I guess they just have to do that. Maybe they just have to lose the game in that way. Like, that looks better than just 5v5ing something against you will just die probably. Like, this can even be another keep. Like, shouldn't they have gas? But then, like, yeah, they need gas to deep push this probably to not lose a keep. But that could be a kill on ETC maybe if Brumby is more aggressive. I don't know if that's nerf Kokon or something. He could E, you know, slightly before the Immortal jumps, you know, approach the gates and just look for Kokon on Rekka. I mean, you don't have, like, granted, you don't have to be that aggressive. You're probably gonna get the keep or like decent value, but still, you know. I mean, grant also, like, what this makes, right, is in case that Liquid fucks up, right, they die on bottom, then they have mid open, you know, so like, it is, as I said, probably better than just like 5v5ing something that you will probably lose anyway. They can hope for like a fuck up from Liquid here. Okay, Liquid got the gas down. Oh, no. Oh, no, that wasn't real engage. What the fuck? The Budo, man. Debate takes. Okay, that's game. Yeah. The intentional grief, selling games, kappa. No, but like as I said, like both of the games I went over today were granted the Tomb of the Spider Queen game. Liquid should really focus on snowballing more. If they see they don't, they should approach differently to lanes, or like just be more aggressive to get something done, like some structure damage done, you know. They should have played after they eventually started to snowball better. They shouldn't let the snowball just like suddenly disappear because they just don't do anything. And maybe they could do better that game, but like still, you saw how the team fights went. You saw what kind of like damage Liquid can do to Expert, which was like nothing. Every time they tried to do some damage, you know, Expert just puts way more damage back on Liquid, right? So they just won composition wise. Plus the Liquid failed to snowball. And this game, again, you know, it was like, there's no way Expert can have good 5v5s against this composition. Let me look at the draft and let's see what they could maybe draft differently, you know, to not lose. I mean, maybe. I mean, this was like maybe like kind of tilt banning, right? I mean, it like they lost to the Vikings, so they wanted to ban it, and then they ban Abba, which is would it really be the pick for Liquid with Sonya? Anubarak, and on this map, you know. This could be, you know, Tassadar or Valaban, you know. This could be Tychus Gaiman maybe, or like just like Gul'dan even, I guess. Because Falstad is really half-core damage. Like the thing is with them is like this stacked half-core damage, you know. Like Falstad Genji, just like, you know, this is not going to like create any kind of pressure on opponents that have double support too, you know. Genji throws shurikens and Falstad throws, you know, boomerangs. Like, what do you do with that? While Sonya, every Q auto W is just like half of tank HP. You know, Vala pokes a lot. You know, that's other too. So like, it's upgrade damage dealers against what opponents have. You know, of course, like if the comp is slightly different, they still can do well. Or maybe if it's a different map when there's no like Punisher joining a team that wins shrines anyway, you know. So this could be a different ban. I would ban Tassadar. If I ever pick Genji, I would ban Tassadar or pick Tassadar, you know. I wouldn't let Tassadar through. And then this could be like the Greyman maybe, you know. Not sure about the last pick ETC against Uther, you know. And yes, like Liquid even did few mistakes, you know. But the Expert still shouldn't, like, wasn't able to like, get into proper snowballing situation. I'm just thinking if they failed something early game or not. Like at the 11 before 13. I don't think they did. I think they do huge mistake with how they approach the situation after they lost the top keep. You know, they should get every camp of Liquid, maybe even look for them. Maybe they were just, I don't know, maybe they just like, it's awkward because they should be aware that they can't win shrine fights. So with that knowledge, you know you have to be super aggressive and you need to find opponents. And what they do, they 5-man top fort. Like, what? And then eventually they get no camps. Opponents like Liquid got 2 camps, you know, after they respawned. And they even had to waste Gast for it. So like, that could be a moment if they played like completely different, which is like taking all of the camps. Maybe they are in map situation in which they could get the split push, because like, yeah, I don't know. That was just like, I guess we could just say the composition is not ideal, but could be played a little bit differently. But still, like, this composition will just probably never win a shrine fight, you know. So. Also on the Tomb of the Spider Queen, maybe Tassara could go for wall, because like there's not much you're gonna do with Archon against that unless they hard engage. But since Expert was in a lead, they didn't have to hard engage, and Benny was actually trying to not E as hard as he can, you know. Just since Liquid was behind, they had to eventually look for engage on their own, but their engage deals no damage, so they can keep their CCs, the gap closers, for the moment when Liquid engage, and they just punish the tanks for doing that. They were in that position. But like, maybe the wall will somehow help there, you know. But Anup still would have to, like, could E away. I don't know. It is really awkward here. But maybe the wall will be better. Just to let Vala like create some damage on opponents, you know. I think like auto attack build on Tassadar and the shield, I mean wall on 10 maybe could help, you know. Did they get to 20? I mean, yeah, they could also aim to get to 20, right? But I don't know how much it helps them, you know. Sonya gets hardened shielded, Uther respawns. Yes, Leoric gets like the Spectral Leech, but I don't think it would be the choice for him actually this game. He probably would need to pick Hardened Shield to do anything. I don't think he could go Spectral Leech that game. So I don't know if even 20 helps them. Like, they were in a situation they were trying to play for 20, but then again just didn't stick to the plan, which not necessarily would work, but like it was a plan, you know. It was going to possibly